Good morning, Bird Gang. Welcome to the live event. I have legendary Altley with me and the founder of AgainstData. We are super excited to do the walkthrough of AgainstData. And let's see, Altley, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, I'm doing good, Sam. Alex, nice to meet you. So,
Hey everyone. Hey Bird Gang. Nice to meet you guys too. So my second live ever. So I'm very excited to be here.
Perfect, perfect. Let's see if we make sure that we are live on Facebook and on YouTube. So let's see. So Alex, where are you from? And Atlee, what time is it for you now?
So I'm from originally from Romania. I'm from Bucharest, which is the capital of Romania, which is a country in Eastern Europe. But now I live in London in the UK. So it's 2 p.m. for me now. I'm just having like an afternoon tea.
Perfect, perfect. Atlee, you?
yeah, Bird Gang. So, as you guys know, I'm in sunny Miami, but we're having a bit of a cold front. So, it's in the 60s. So, Floridians here, they got out the heavy coats and all that stuff. So, but other than that, 9:02 a.m., ready to get
Perfect,
rocking and rolling with Against the Data.
perfect, perfect. So we have Mina, Rahul, Validmir. Hello, guys. I'll let the legendary Atlee start the live. Let's go.
All righty. All right, Bird Gang. So, wherever you guys are viewing this from, Against Data. Um, it was a tool that I saw. As soon as I saw it, I looked at it. I saw unclog your email, get rid of your spam, and I was kind of like, okay, another one of those tools. Let's see what it's about. But then just from going to their website, I think it's really well built. It told me that okay, this is a little bit more than just get rid of your spam. Um, so with that, I did reach out to Sam, and when I'm like, hey man, what's up with this Against the Data? I started questioning him a lot, and then finally he was like, hey brother, how about I just connect you with Alex, and you guys can talk. And then I was the one that asked him, I say, well, hey, why don't you ask Alex if he want to do a live? In other words, I could just question him on a live, or I'm sure a lot of other people are going to have a lot of questions because like I said, this is definitely not one of those tools that you just get it, runs through your email, and unsubscribes from emails. It takes it, like I said, to me, it's that on steroids. I personally haven't seen any other tools like it or goes as in depth as it goes. So with that, like I said, I'm really happy to be here with Alex, so I can question him now, pick his brain, and learn a little bit more about who he is, his company and whatnot, and where they plan on taking this too. So, Alex.
Nice. Thank you for the very kind intro. So yeah, we started. We are three people at Against Data, and we're all very much passionate about privacy because, as we all know, when we look at what's going on online, everything that we do and everything that we type and everything that we click, everything's being tracked. And I think that a lot of people are aware of this now more than ever. There's been a lot of conversations, and also with Cambridge Analytica and everything. So it felt like privacy was beginning to be more and more of a topic for the rest of the world. But at the same time, it's not just about behavioral data. Every time we buy something online, for example, that company holds on to our credit card information, to our address, our history, and everything. So we realized that we're just in this situation where our data is basically everywhere. So what's the problem with that? Well, it really depends. There have been a few, more than a few situations in the past where that data gets breached, data gets hacked. Sometimes it gets sold, and your data ends up on the dark web. So what we wanted to do with Data Against Data was to empower people to actually see who has their data, and also to be able to request the deletion of that data. And we're living like in really interesting times, because for a really long time all the power was with the big tech companies. So us users, we didn't really have anything to challenge what they were doing. But right now around the world, and this has been going on for quite a number of years, we have the GDPR legislation in Europe, then we have the CCPA in the US. And actually, more than 130 countries around the world have adopted some form of legislation. And this data privacy legislation comes with a number of privacy rights, data privacy rights for the users, which is quite interesting. One of these rights is called the right to be forgotten, which is very dramatic. I really like the name, but it's basically your right to ask companies to delete your data. And this is what we are helping people do. So this is big part of the story, clean your data trail. And another big part of the story when it comes to privacy, we also help you clean your inbox. It's funny because if you think about email, email is kind of like a passport that you use on the internet. Every time, again, you need to get on a website. Every time you need to create a user account. Every time you need to maybe even like get the 10% discount, you have to leave your email everywhere. And of course, that gets super cluttered. There's a lot of science behind it that says that the ping of the email, just the notification gets people stressed. And I have to say, I kind of understand why. 50% of all the spam in the world of all the email in the world is actually spam. So it's really difficult to stop. So we are also helping people clean their inbox, unsubscribe, and delete all the junk that's there, just to keep things a little bit more balanced and to give our users more of a sense of control.
Okay, that's good. So so the part of when you're requesting you want your data removed or whatever, so that's the part where you guys, like I say, you take it to that next level. Say, hey, so we're already getting spam from this company or whatever, but I also want to make sure this company, gets rid of my data or whatever. So how does that process work?
So if you don't use AgainstData.com and you would like to have your data removed by a company, here's what you need to do. So first of all, you need to know the name of the company. Then you need to go on their website, go to their privacy policy, look in that privacy policy and search for their privacy email. It's usually something like privacy@email.com. Then you need to go in your Gmail address, send them a message, use a template, and wait for them to answer back. So this is the usual way of doing it. And just imagine that's a lot of steps. And now imagine doing that for 300 companies, because that's about the median footprint of a user. So when you use AgainstData, you connect with your Gmail account. The app already shows you which companies have your data. You have a button where you can click take action, and then you can request deletion. When you do that, a legal template leaves your email account and goes to the company's address. So you don't need to do any of the research that I was talking about earlier. Everything is already done for you. The reason why the email leaves from your Gmail account is also quite important, because we want companies to be able to identify you without actually needing more of your data. So if the request comes from my email address, then they know that it actually came from me. And once that happens, the companies they have to give you an answer in 30 or 45 days, depending on the country where you're in. And most companies confirm deletion quicker.
Okay.
You can also monitor all these conversations inside the app, and you can mark as solved once these companies actually confirm your data deletion. That being said, I want to make it super clear that not everything is bad and not all companies are evil. And if you're actually using a company, then it's totally fair for them to have your data because they actually need it. And asking for deletion sometimes might lead to the deletion of the account. So that's also very important, a very important thing to keep in mind.
Okay. I heard you mention Gmail. Do you work with other providers also, or you plan to?
We started with Gmail because we really wanted to see how people are going to react, and at the same
Okay.
time, it's also, I think, the biggest platform out there. Then Google, even though they're very strict with their API access, they're also quite an open company. We're now looking at expanding. We have been trying to add Yahoo for a while now. They have this very strict process where I think since they changed ownership, they don't actually allow anyone access to their APIs anymore. But we
Mm.
are trying to find different ways in. So it seems like we're just gonna go the traditional way, which is POP3.
Okay. So I guess right now it's Gmail and Yahoo, and then as time goes on, you guys will bring on
Yes,
other
right now
services.
it's Gmail. Yahoo's a bit of a struggle. We can't get them to answer any of our emails, and API documentation isn't out
Readily
there.
available. Okay.
But we are researching ways to bring this solution to any type of email out there, because I know that people don't just use Gmail, and even if they have a Gmail account, they probably have three or five more from different providers that they would also like to clean. For
So
example, my Yahoo personal address, like probably one of the oldest email addresses I have, probably has 200,000 unread emails. So it's one of my personal life goals to clean that email account, but I cannot do that manually. It's just impossible.
oh, gotcha. You talking about old email? I have an AOL email when AOL was a BBS still. I still have that email address. But anyways, a whole nother story. All right, great. So you said Gmail. Now, will that also work for Google Workspace email accounts?
Yes, it does. So I actually use this for work as well, just because, for every um, email that scrapes LinkedIn or whatever, I probably get, I don't know, for every tool, I probably get three emails asking for different things and so on. I'm sure everyone is in the same bucket. So yeah, it also works with Google Workspace.
Workspace. Okay, that's good to know, so that we can use our company domains and whatnot. All right, great. So yeah, we just had a nice little intro here. So I think we want to see what everyone really wants to see. I know there's one particular feature that you are selling on tier 2 and tier 3 that people are seeing, and some people are like, hey, we don't want to buy a roadmap. It's the multiple team accounts, or we can have multiple emails on your account. So with that being said, I know you do have something you want to show people and actually do a little walkthrough of the platform.
Yes, definitely. And before we do that, I would also like to thank everyone that has sent us so much feedback that's been extremely useful, because we are trying to build something that works very well for our users. So we don't really exist in this universe where we just make decisions. All the decisions that we make are through user feedback, and we got a lot of that. We got a lot of it in the comments, we got a lot of it on email and so on, so that was really good. So thanks for everyone who took the time.
Okay. All right. Let me know once you're ready to share your screen.
Yep, let's do it.
Okay.
Cool. So once you go to againstdata.com, you can sign in with your Gmail account. It's a super simple onboarding process. It doesn't really take a lot of time either. We just try to streamline things to make things as simple as possible. And once you do that, you're gonna land on this dashboard. So on our dashboard, you can see how many companies are sending you emails. You can see how many of those are promotional emails. And just because I was telling you earlier that even though you unsubscribe, companies still get to keep your data, you can also see how many companies hold your data and in what countries those companies have their servers in. So this is the main dashboard, and this is where you make all the decisions. You have some additional things here, like you can see there's a CO2 counter, which I will explain a little bit later, and there are a few very simple steps to get started. Just FYI, a disclaimer before I go any further. What I'm going to show you today is something that it's still being tested. So this hasn't been released yet, but it has a feature that we're really excited about, and it has a feature that a lot of you have asked for. But I'll get to that in a second. So once you land here, then you're going to see on your left, you have two main sections. One of them is clean your inbox, and the other one is clean your data trail. So when it comes to clean your inbox, you have personal emails, then you have promotions, and then you have notification. So in order to take action, all you have to do is look for something that you are not using anymore. So let's say awards@eurobest.com. You click on subscribe. You make sure that this is toggled on, just so you also delete all the emails associated with this account. You unsubscribe, and then this pop-up will come up. This is where we are asking for permission to set rules in your Gmail account, so to be able to make unsubscribe possible. So I'm just gonna give those permissions now. Wow, it seems like my internet is a little bit slow, but yeah, not sure that this is possible in dev mode. So if you're here, AJ, could we switch to the other part of the app, to the main one?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, just to make sure. Okay, cool. So I think that right now, there we go. Right now we're on the app that's actually in prod. So like I was saying, you go to promotions, you click unsubscribe, you click make sure that this is toggled on. Yes, unsubscribe me, and this is done. So once this is done, you have been unsubscribed from that email. All the emails that you have received from that company have been deleted. And you can also see here that you save a little bit of CO2 every time you delete some of those emails. You can click again unsubscribe, and that's it. So in my promotional section, there is nothing here. Now you can also go through your personal emails and do the same thing. Just think about the people that you don't really want to hear from anymore. That's probably a tougher decision to make. But for example, if I delete this, does the same thing. So this part really helps you clean your inbox. And then when you go even deeper and you want those companies to actually delete your data, you have to go to the clean your data trail section. Here, when you go to personal data, you're going to see all the companies that have your data. And when you go to deletion requests, you're going to see all the deletion requests that you have sent. And as you can see, I've sent quite a lot lately. So in order to take action, you just pick a companies that you no longer want to interact with. You simply click ask for deletion, send deletion request, and that's it. Then you can see that the deletion request is already here. Just to make sure that you don't do anything that you might regret later, we are giving you some time to cancel the deletion request. But I haven't asked for deletion by mistake from any company until now.
So Alex, quick question for you, just so the other users can know. So when you hit select, to deletion request, what is it that you guys are actually sending? Because you're sending it from my account. So what's actually being sent?
So once you hit deletion request, a email, but it's not just an email, it's a legal template, is being sent from your account. So in my case, from alex at againstdata.com. And this email goes to the privacy email address of the company that you're asking deletion from. So it goes from my email to the company's privacy email. So you don't need to do any of this research beforehand. And as per the law, the company has to reply to your request and has to delete the data. And that reply needs to come between 30 to 45 days, depending on the geography. That being said, deletion isn't always an absolute right. So if the company has a legal reason to keep some of your data, for example, invoices, because you've purchased something from them, they're still going to keep that data. But the good news is that they're going to delete all the other data that they don't have to keep for legal reasons. And that's usually marketing data.
Okay. All right, good. Yeah, I just thought, some people might be wondering, what are you guys actually sending to them to get it deleted?
Yeah, so it's just according to the law, this is how you exercise your right to be forgotten. This is how you exercise your right to deletion, by sending an email to the company's privacy email. But the problem with that is that it just takes too much research and too much energy. So we have basically done this work for you.
Point and click.
Super
Okay.
simple.
Yeah, very simple, very simple.
And there is one thing I also wanted to demo. So if we can go back to the other share screen, which was this, which I told you isn't in production yet. So we're still testing it. But a lot of people have asked about our multi-account feature, because we've discovered that many people don't just have, including myself actually, don't just have one account. And we've also seen that some of our users buy for more accounts, like buy the solution for more accounts, and they do that on the same day. So we wanted to offer a multi-account solution, and it's already being tested. So as you can see right now, if I go here on my right, just like you would go in Google, for example, in Chrome to change the user. So I have added 3 email addresses here, Alex, Kurt, and Alexandru. So when I click on Kurt, now everything changes. I'm connected to this Gmail account, and I can start taking action on this Gmail account. Now, if I want to go to the third one, Alex, again, this is something that's a very new one, but this is something that you can do. And when you go to the billing section, you can see when you've paid, when the next payment is, and you can also see all the accounts that you have added. And of course, you can also download the invoice. So the multi-account feature is almost there. We still need to do some testing. We still need to iron out some things, but it's coming soon.
Okay. So the multi-account, it's not something to where the users would have their own login. It'll still be under your account.
So this is the multi-account works like this. So you create the first you create the first account, which for me was Alex, and that's why it's called main. And once you have created that account, you can see here you have the option to add a new account. And when you get the option to add a new account, you're going to get another pop-up. Well, I've just this is just like 3 accounts, so I have already reached my limit. But basically, once you have created the first account, you can add another account, which for me was this one, Alga Vasile, which is still my name. And the third account, again, go through the same Gmail sign-in, and you have Kurt Matthews. It's just it's not a real person. It's just an email account that I created for testing purposes. So the fact that you see three different names here, well, two which are the same and a different one might be confusing. But I guess that for the normal, the average user, you would just see Alexandru Vasile everywhere, but you would have all your different email
Email
accounts.
addresses. Okay. Okay. So it's definitely not something to where if I have if I have teammates or I have other people that say, hey, I want you guys to go ahead and use this. Where 'cause I thought it was something where you hit add new account, it sends them a link so they authorize the email, and then it shows up in there. Because I know so.
Yeah, this is something that we're looking into because this can be activated with codes. But right now, the biggest insight that we've had and that we've discussed with our users was that, the app works great,
Right.
but I don't just have one account, I have several. And I want
Gotcha.
to clean all of them. Is there a way to do that in a more affordable way, so I don't have to buy four different licenses?
Okay.
So like I was saying earlier, we try to listen to our users as much as possible and to give them what they want. So this one was one of the most requested
Yes.
features, so that's why it's here.
Okay. Yeah. I just want to clarify that because I know some people, that's what they're thinking about. Hey, I have some team members or I have some other people. I can give them a, essentially a license. I can give them an account, a seat, whatever. But now I'm going to be able to see all their information. So now just want to clear up that that's not what this is designed for. This is more designed for you and your hoard of emails that you have, hey, so you can keep them clean, essentially.
Yes, exactly that. And we do see that there are a number of businesses who are using the product, but when that happens, they sort of buy it individually. And of course, like,
Right,
we're always open to discussing, like, if someone is looking to cover the whole business. But right now, just like I said, the main focus is the individual users. So we try to give the user as much value as possible.
right. And I guess two other questions along those lines is one, I guess, moving forward for your LTD users accounts, once the product is live, meaning for team members and for those who maybe did not get team members, will you have something to where they get maybe a discounted rate, or you give them a certain amount of time that, hey, team members are live, I'm sorry, that the deal has been over, but we're going to give you guys like another 2 weeks to essentially top up, at the LTD cost or something, and then after that, then it's maybe just discounted if they want to add more seats. So
Yeah, so as the number of accounts grows, even for like at an individual level, the price drops because, like I was saying, we're trying to bring as much value as possible to our users. Now, when someone each, I think the clearest way that I think I can explain that is that each license is bought for an email. So once that email is no longer in use, then that license is no longer valid. But of course, if we're going to be in the situation where people want to use this for their business, we can always talk about this and we can find a way forward.
okay, so fair enough, fair enough. Like I said, I understand this is it's a pretty unique application. Like I said, not like a lot of these others. Unsubscribe, clean my inbox. This is actually really help you clean your inbox and also clean your data, which I think that's the big piece right there. So
Yeah, definitely. I think that we just have this big focus on privacy, and I think that bringing value to the users. I know I keep repeating this, and it's probably annoying by this point, but a lot of what's out there, even when like an app is created for a user, they have like a business to business um, side hustle, let's say. So when we look at a lot of the other solutions that are on the market, which don't really offer the possibility to also delete your data. They're basically mining the data of their users and they're selling it for profit. So everything that's in your email is just being mined and then it's being sold
so
further on. And the main differentiator for us is that we're super focused on privacy. So we don't really gather any of the user data, and we don't sell any of the user data. And even further, we want to help our users reclaim the privacy that they've lost, like we've all lost along the way.
Okay. All right. So I just want to remind folks, like I said, your emails are tied to the license. So it's something to where, if you decide you want to stop using that email, you've essentially, lost that license. Um, so maybe that's something that, as Alex's team can talk about, where maybe, after a year of usage, 8 months, they might do something, a one-time switch. I don't know. But just based on what I'm seeing from the application or whatever, I can see the reason why, that they don't want people just, license hopping, from emails to emails to emails. So that's definitely not what the application was designed for, folks. I see a couple people has been asking that question about being able to, use, let's say, tier 307 license and just, keep reusing it if they want to use one email, use another email. But I want to also let you guys know too, something, Alex educated me on was, okay, so you sign up with the service, use it for 6, 7, 8 months, whatever. You're always going to have that perpetual, spam coming in. So if that's your idea of saying, hey, well, I can clean one email and clean another one and clean another one, you're constantly going to be in this cycle, where once you thought it was clean, and all of a sudden, a couple weeks later, when you moved it away from AgainstData, all of a sudden it's coming right back. So
Yeah, when we looked at the data, so apparently half of the world's emails are spam, and this has a huge impact on us, and it has a huge impact on productivity. Apparently, we lose 6 hours of productive work, or the average worker loses 6 hours of productive work every month, just because of all the constant pinging and all the spam. So when you actually get control of your inbox, is quite liberating. But unfortunately, just because half of the emails are spam, and just because people are constantly crawling for email addresses, you will see more activity than you would like in your inbox. So we believe that it's quite important to go back, like once everything's done and once you're super happy, it's important to go on the platform for like 5-10 minutes every 2 weeks, 3 weeks, just see what's new, what's there, what you would like to keep, and what you would like to delete.
okay. All right, Bird Gang. So here's something I was kind of leaving Alex, to let him bring it up on his own accord, but I know he's not too, forthcoming with it, talking about his experience on a really popular investing or show. But I think maybe he can give some ideas, some tips for any of you guys out there that may want to end up there yourselves, or what his experience there was, and even afterwards to see if anything came out of somewhere else. So I don't want to go too much, Alex. You just go ahead and talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, we can definitely do that. So we've started AgainstData about 4 years ago, and as it happens, it's not always a smooth ride. And we've also discovered that pitching, because you need to pitch all the time. You need to pitch investors, maybe to get some money. You need to pitch other people in order to get people to join your cause and so on. And we've discovered that pitching is quite important early on. And we kept doing that a lot. And that's how we got the right people to join our team. As I've told you, we're only three, but we work very, very well together. That's how we got two different VC funds to invest some money in AgainstData.com. But the funniest thing that ever happened connected to pitching was one day I was on Facebook, and I got this message from a person I didn't really know. And they said that they were scouting for Romanian's version of the Dragon's Den. As you know, the Dragon's Den, well, actually, it's the Dragon's Den here in the UK, but in the US, it's called the Shark Tank. So it's that popular TV format where you go on live TV and you pitch your business idea, and you have four different people judging you, asking you questions, and they're gonna decide whether they're gonna invest in your business or not. So initially, when I read that message, I was like quite defensive. I was like, I really don't want to expose myself to that. But then I realized that the show itself has a huge audience. So I thought that, well, basically, someone's giving me like a few minutes on national TV to talk about what I do. So that's quite an amazing thing. So we said yes. We said yes to going on Romanian's version of the Shark Tank. And once we did that, we signed the contract and so on. There was no going back. So we knew that whatever happens, we have to go through with it. So we've started watching all the shows. We've started doing endless pages of questions, like possible questions, possible answers, and so on. We started rehearsing the pitch a lot, and it was really interesting because I felt like the pressure was building and more and more and more. And the guys, like the investors that were on the show, were really, really nice, but they weren't necessarily super technical people. They were more people who knew like brick and mortar businesses. So again, that was also a bit of a reason for us to be nervous. But like I've said, the contracts were signed, and there were a lot of things in there about what would happen if we wouldn't go through with it. So we just did, and it was nice. We got there in the morning. We started filming. We've discovered that even though all you see on TV is like 6-7 minutes, in order to get those really good 6 or 7 minutes, we had to go through almost 2 hours of questions and filming and so on. It was really interesting because you kind of forget that you're on TV. At the same time, it's important to rehearse and it's important to be prepared. But to be honest, like the questions that we got and everything that happened there was quite far away from what we prepared. But it was definitely good. And then finally, there is that moment where they make you an offer. And at that time, we really had no idea what was going to happen, just because there was a lot of back and forth, and there were a lot of discussions, and all of the people that were on the show had businesses, so they weren't like super happy of an app that helps everyone ask their business to delete their data, so they could already see the problems that they would have on the business side. So they were a little bit defensive. But so we had no idea what was going to happen. But finally, we got an offer. So they offered to invest 350K. Unfortunately, we had to say no because number one, they didn't have any experience in what we were trying to build. So we saw that this would be just money. It wouldn't really get us where we wanted to be. And two, we were there for the users anyway. And we were like, it was quite good because a lot of users came. I think about 7,000 new users when it was aired. And as the weeks went on, just because everything was also available on YouTube, we kept getting more and more and more users. So it was definitely worth it. If I would have to go through it again, I definitely would. So I guess that the point of it, for me at least, was that taking risks, even though like for me felt like a big risk, taking risks definitely pays off sometimes.
Okay, yeah, great. Thanks for that. Because like I said, we've heard and stuff. I don't think we've actually seen anybody come into the LTD community that could say they've been on any of those type of I guess TV shows or
Yeah, I
situations.
guess it's like when you think about, when you're building something and you think about how are we actually going to reach the people that need our solution, you have the first few bullet points, which are the usual ones, right? I guess that growth always has like some answers. So this was definitely out of our comfort zone, but at the same time it felt like it was good for the app, and to some extent it was good for us. So I would definitely encourage, if someone gets the chance to do something like this, go for it.
Go for it. All right, thanks. Great. Yeah, so I know we're coming down here to start wind down on time. Against the data. Like I said, they're early bird. However, Umar or Sam, however they found you and they were able to entice you guys, to come to the LTD community. Definitely want to, thank you guys, the early bird gang for that, and also, Alex and your team to agreeing to come, to the LTD community. 'Cause like I said, I think this is something definitely, especially us being in the LTD community. I think every single person in LTD should have their, a couple of their emails with Against the Data, if not anything, for all the the heavy hearts and all the other applications that probably just have our user data there, and they just kept on to it. They never did anything with it. So
Yeah.
definitely, you guys, this is something, for the toolbox. Even if you just get a tier 1, I would probably recommend a tier 2, because I know many of us, we have multiple emails, main emails that we use for our different hustles or businesses. So definitely, like I said, Against Data, like I said, great things for it. I'm extremely happy about starting to use it myself. Point and click. So I like how you have everything set up. We can see the statuses of when we request, data removal, and go from there. Now, do you? I know, so we've come down to the end, but it's gonna be a 2 more minute. Do you guys plan on offering another, I guess, higher service for when we have those companies that just don't want to? They're not responding. They're not whatever. Where you guys maybe say, hey, we have an add-on service now that's outside of it, because now we're doing extra. Where now maybe we're going to actually mail a real letter into them, or I don't know. This is just me kind of just going off rails right now.
So the interesting, like escalating a
Yeah.
company that's not responding is on our radar.
Okay.
Right now, it's quite good because a lot of the companies have had a lot of time to prepare for these privacy requests, and a lot of the companies are quite good at responding. So they're not. It's usually like a smaller company or something that's not as important, like if they're not responding. But we are going to add, like, our main focus is to bring control and transparency to the data world. And in order to tick the control box, we have a lot of plans to make this easier and easier and easier. So maybe you won't have to be part of all the conversations in the future. So it's definitely on our radar.
Okay. All right. Great. Thanks. Good to hear that you guys do. That is something that is on in the roadmap. So, all righty. Like I said, I had a great time. I see Sam is back on here. He's trying to kick us off now. So,
No, no. There are some FAQs I think we can quickly go through. Uh, I don't know if it. So in the previous asking if there's any webhook or integrations with Public Connect. I don't know if that's something we even needed for this kind of
I don't
tool.
I don't
Um,
know.
Not really.
I
Uh,
don't think so.
Waldemar is asking Outlook and SMTP. Can we connect our own SMTP?
Not at this time, no.
No, it's in the roadmap. Something it's gonna be coming soon.
I wouldn't say coming soon. I think we are definitely considering, like, everything that you guys think you might need. We will definitely consider. We have a long list. We always look at how many people are asking for a certain feature, how difficult it is to build, and then that's how we decide when it's actually going to be on the roadmap.
Okay. Because the reason I ask, because if any company is using it and they have their own SMTP or they're using shared hosting, um, and there's plenty of people who are using like their own like business emails, right? So
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
something
yeah.
it's probably going to be needed for sure.
Yeah, it's definitely on the roadmap. I just can't give a very clear time frame.
Okay, perfect. Is it GDPR compliance?
It is.
It is.
Yes,
Okay.
UK.
it is.
And I just want
Well,
to go over quickly. There's few questions, and there's few questions that I also have. Um, I don't. Okay, I don't know how to pronounce your name, but he's asking for WordPress integration. I don't think it needs a WordPress integration. Um,
No.
Saving, can we recover it if delete? Okay, that's already been answered. Uh, okay, so quick question on the uh, Kenta is asking. All right, I'm sold. What is the tier three then? It says seven email can be switched the email among the seven.
yes.
So yeah, go
So,
ahead.
for example, we've discovered that some of our users actually run multiple businesses. So you have Alex at skiresortrentals.com, Alex at skijetrentals.com, Alex at whatever. So one individual has multiple addresses, email addresses, and they want to get rid of spam for all of them. So for people like this who are running multiple Gmail accounts, that's who could use tier 3,
Mhm.
and you can just use that to clean as much of what you have as possible.
Okay. So let's say, for example, if somebody's buying tier three and they get 7 emails and they want to, uh, let's say, if I had couple of emails that I have not used the service yet, is it possible to change the email for that particular, but that I haven't used the service yet? Because I know you were mentioning that once the service start kicking in, then it won't be possible to swap the emails.
You can't swap, but you can add. But
Okay.
I think that the two different use cases that we see right now are: number one, when me as an individual, I have 7 email addresses and I want to clean all of them, and it's on me to look through everything. And then maybe a team that has 7 members. So if for that case, obviously you won't want just one person going through everything, right? Because they're just going to see each other's emails and so on, and you don't really know how that goes. So if anyone wants to buy the third tier, so 7 emails for a team, hit us up on email, and we're going to see what we can do, because I think that the reason why it's set up like this, it's because it's still set up for individual users and not
Mhm.
for teams. I hope that that explains the
Okay.
question.
Because I had a couple of things that I was actually thinking that, how companies can, use this against Zeta for their customers or for their own company, right? And because we, as a, like, many agency owners we have in our group, and they all get like tons of emails, and even, as a user you get tons of email. So is it something that you will, just the idea, but I think it's, you can, look into it more. How about, like, as an agency owner selling this as a service or providing as a service? So for example, if somebody is uh, trying to get rid of all their, data on from the internet or from emails, and, whatever people are holding it, and I provide this as a service to a client. So that's something, I don't know, I think will be a good idea. And if the user can, or agency can do that, they can actually make money out of it, right? Athlete, what do you think?
Yeah, yeah, the agencies and you guys, and then the agencies also.
Yeah.
But just for me, for what I'm seeing, I think that's something more on the, I think the platform, as Alex was saying, they still have some things they need to mature
Mature, yeah,
before
exactly.
they, because that's a whole nother big, that's another big, movement there. A lot of stuff. Cause then there might be APIs involved with that and whatnot. But yeah, definitely as a long term, I could definitely see where, yeah, this is something easy for the digital market. You bring on a new client that, hey, you want to make sure you keep your emails. You want to make sure I have a service I can provide to you guys. Boom. So
like
definitely
i
another use case there.
like I have my own, one of the business email, and I'm already maxed out on my 10 GB storage. And I know, no, I know personally that when I had to delete all these emails, because, the minimum storage they were giving me was 5 GB, and I have to pay extra for, and, I would say probably 90% of them were garbage, but I just didn't know which one are garbage, which are not garbage, right? So if somebody would have offered me, okay, this is a service we have, we take care of it for you, and something that you can sell it as a,
Care
service.
plans.
It's
Yeah.
just the idea that I'm just throwing it
Yeah.
in, right?
No, it's a very interesting idea, and actually, we got last week we got a few two requests from agencies, especially for this. So this is something that might come in the future. I think that the most important thing, most important part is that the decision maker is making decisions consciously, just because it's very tough for a third party to decide what you will need to keep and what you won't need to keep. But like when you go through the list of senders, you're going to see what's really needed, and you're probably going to guess what's really not. And we've seen that some of our users, like a big portion of our users, uh, really love the bulk deletion feature, just because, like you've said, it does save a lot of money on upgrading your Google storage.
Okay. Another quick question. This is again coming from me. I myself buy a lot of lifetime deals, and I do judge them. So I do want to ask you. I'm not trying to put you on the spot, but this is something I think because we are in this for a really long time. Would you allow, like, for example, if I'm using a tool, and if I have John at whatever my agency is, he's working for me, or he's like a freelancer that that is in my team and working for me for 6 months, and I hook him up with the email. Or let's say I have my partners that I hook them up with against data. Then let's say if they are no longer with the company, that particular email, that is like, because in every company there's a IT department who handles everything that related to the email, and I'm one of the guys so who take care of everything, because they are not technical, so I have to look after hooking up their SMTP and everything I have to help them with. So if they are leaving and that particular email address is no longer being used, is there any way like you guys can allow, like, maybe we'll let you guys swap it every 6 months or something, if you want to swap the email address on, like.
So the way that the system is set up right now is you buy the licenses for each email. So everything is connected, like the license is connected to an email. So right now we don't offer that possibility. It might create a lot of logistical problems for us when we think about swapping and so on. So I think that for now, every license is tied to the address that it's been connected to, and that is final.
That's okay. Perfect. I got it. Thank you so much. I think that's all. So, guys, if you check the deal out, see which tier fits your need. It is at this point, I would say, more like, for your own use with your 3 or 4 emails. So, for example, if you want to use it for yourself, with your family, with your work email and stuff like that, you can use it. And because those are the email address that you are actually going to be using it. For example, if you have a Yahoo or Gmail, I'm pretty sure the Gmail, everybody owns one of the Gmail address, and that's something you don't get rid of. You keep it forever, kind of thing. So if you have an agency and you have established agency, that's the email you're going to be using it. You're not going to be swapping it for different email address, because that's your main email address. So that's where you want to use this. If you have family members, a wife, or colleague, not colleague, but anybody in your family, you can connect those email address to, because that's their main email address, and you can help them delete all those spam emails and unsubscribe. So go with the tier that suits you the best. If you have multiple emails, go with the tier 2 or tier 3, and yeah, that's all. We do have a life the coupon, 20% off, valid until 3rd of December. So yeah, that's about it.
Thank
But
you so much for having me. Just one quick thing before I go. Right now, we're only integrated with Gmail.
Gmail.
So Yahoo, unfortunately, has been a struggle just because they don't answer their emails. But we're keep going, and yeah, we have a lot of interesting things coming. If anyone has any feedback, we're always super happy and super grateful for all the feedback. We believe that what we do really matters, and it matters at a global level, but most importantly, I think it matters at an individual level, because it might make you a little bit less stressed, and it might make your life a little bit less cluttered. And we hope that's a big thing, and at the same time it will also reduce the risk that something bad will happen with your data in the future. So I think that spam and privacy are a lifetime problem. So I think that the lifetime deal might be the right way to go, as long as it's available.
Exactly. So, guys, it's not just about deleting your promo or emails and stuff like that. It's about your privacy as well too, and you can request your data to be removed right from the platform AgainstData, and they keep adding more and more companies who. It also shows you the score, like how much spam they send out and stuff like that. So it is very interesting a tool as a privacy concern nowadays. This is matters. This matters.
Okay.
Thank you, guys.
Thank
All
you.
right.
All
Thanks.
right, guys. If you guys have any question, feel free to ask. The founder is in our group, and thank you very much, Atlee. Any
Okay.
last words?
Always.
All right, bye, guys.
Bye.
All righty.